Hello, everybody. I'm dyslexic, and I'm proud to be dyslexic. It was a difficult thing being dyslexic as a child, and that's a thing that I find really hard right now when I see children being treated as though they have a learning disability because they are dyslexic, and being just treated as though they are dumb or so on. And I was treated pretty badly in school. I thought I was dumb until I was about 40 years old, and I actually had a counselor talk to me about the fact that no, that's not true. I also realized, too, when I reached that age and a little bit older, that I started to have friends who were totally unable to do what I could do. Um, I am an artist and a dancer, and I'm able to look at a picture or a dancer and copy them exactly without even thinking about it. In other words, I can, without actually being taught steps, I can actually copy the other person dancing simultaneously. The same thing is true with costumes and sets and sculpture. I do a small stick drawing, and the entire thing comes out of my head into a three-dimensional form. Now, that's probably what the problem is for me reading because all letters and numbers are three-dimensional to me. They float in space, they're hard for me to understand, they switch. I keep telling everybody I'm older than I am because I keep switching my name, my number in my in my age. But anyway, I I am I am proud now that I am dyslexic because do believe that there is a continuum, and the continuum goes from dyslexia is not a disability, just like being super intellectual is not a disability. Um, being super intellectual, I have friends who manage to go all the way through, get PhDs in social studies and English and so on in areas of where tremendous amounts of reading and writing are required. But they can't put a bike rack on the back of a car to save their souls. Me, on the other hand, I can do anything without instructions, build anything. I just dream it up in my head and I create it. Um, so one of my friends who was working on her master's degree or her doctor's degree, I think at that time in women's studies, came to me and saw me building this giant dinosaur puppet that you crawl inside of and you wear, and it's big, huge costume, which I made from a very small drawing. And she asked me how on earth I ever did that. And at that point, I suddenly realized that had an enormous skill. It was just, and it's totally off the radar in that direction. It means that reading is almost impossible for me. Although I do read, I can read. I read magazines when I'm sitting in the dentist's office and stuff like that. But it's a gift. Being dyslexic is a gift. Both my parents were dyslexic. Both of my brothers were dyslexic. Both of my grandmothers were dyslexic. Both of my brothers and myself each had one child that is dyslexic as well. And it has not stopped any of us from doing any of the things we want to do. My father is a physicist, or was a physicist while he was alive. My brother is a alternative energy physicist. My other brother is an engineer. I'm an artist and a dancer. My mother was an artist and a dancer. Both of my grandmothers were artists. Both of my aunts were artists. Both of my kids are in the arts. Um, it's it's a gift, and I just want people to know out there that to stop treating children with dyslexia as though they have a problem. Instead, find them some, let them show you what they need in order to learn because they know how to teach themselves. I knew how to teach myself. I figured it out, and it was not, the school system did not help me at all. I had to do this on my own. So within parents, please let your child be who they are and let them develop as they are, and don't give them a hard time because they can't read. Reading is something that has only been done by human beings within a very small period of our lifetimes. And the fact that people can't read or don't read now is probably just a genetic characteristic that has always been there in our human makeup. So I don't read and I don't care. And it doesn't matter. I watch documentaries and movies, I make videos, I dance, I do my artwork, and reading is really not necessary in order to learn. I have learned massive amounts of information all through other sources. So, anyway, thank you so much for listening to me and my rant about dyslexia. I'm going to call this Rebecca Talks Dyslexia, and I will be doing more talking about other subjects in the future. Thank you very much. Bye bye. I have just one thing left that I want to add to my video about dyslexia, and that is the number of degrees, university degrees, there are in my family. My grandmother has a bachelor's degree of art from Wellesley. My father has a PhD in physics from Stanford. My mother has her master's degree from in fine art from Davis, California. My brother has master's degree in engineering, and the other second degree is in economics. My other brother has a PhD in physics, and I have a master's degree in the arts, video, dance, and anthropology. So obviously, this is not an issue. It has continued on into the next generation as well. My daughter has her bachelor's degree in anthropology and women's studies and part of a degree in engineering, and she is dyslexic as well. So obviously, university is not a difficulty. I found the public school system to be way more difficult than university, actually, for working if you are dyslexic, because they do try to control the way you learn way more than they do in a university where you are free to study at your own rate and in your own pace and your own time. Anyway, I just wanted to add that little thing on there because a friend of mine said you didn't mention the degree you have. So, okay, I'll be talking to you again. Bye.